Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my last Bookmas video, and I'm very excited because today is the video that I'm most looking forward to doing and also posting, and it's a 24-hour readathon. I've never done one before. I am fully prepared to fail because I am the sleepiest person ever, and I know I'm gonna fall asleep because reading makes me sleepy, but I'm gonna attempt it. And I'm at my friend's apartment. She's over there. Say hi. She doesn't want to be in the video, which is totally fine, but you'll hear her voice, and I swear I'm not alone. I swear she's with me. But we're doing this readathon. We're gonna try to read for 12 hours. Today is Saturday, and we're gonna start at 12. It's currently 11:30, so we're gonna start officially in 30 minutes. I think we want to start at a cafe because we want to get some kind of caffeine in us and be outside so we're not inside all day. But I think we're gonna start in a cafe at 12, and then we're gonna go to 12 tomorrow. We're gonna actually go for the 24 hours. We're not gonna like stop when we stop reading. I have a few books that I think I kind of want to read. I know that I have to do things that are more intense. I can't read something that's slower or it will put me to sleep and I just won't want to keep reading. So I think I want to do fantasies, mystery thrillers, maybe some romances, things that are very intense and make you want to just keep going and going. So the first book that I kind of want to read, and the only one that I have physically, and this is not even mine, this is my friend's book, so I'll probably read all of these on my Kindle. I didn't bring any books over, but the first book is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This is a fantasy book. It's a trilogy, and it's the trilogy that comes before the Six of Crows duology, which is what I actually want to read. But in order to read those, I have to read this trilogy first, and my friend has read them. She says they're good, so I am excited. I do think I want to start with this book. It follows a world that's being attacked by monsters that feast on human flesh, and then when Alina is attacked, she realizes that she has this power that she didn't know about, and it was dormant. So she uses this power to attack, I think to kill these monsters that feast on human flesh. And then the royal court find out that she has this power and that she could be useful in this war against these monsters. So they bring her to the Grisha. It's a training center for being in their army. And that's kind of what this book is about. Sounds interesting, and like it'll be fun and kind of keep me interested the entire time so I don't fall asleep. So I think I definitely will be reading this one in this video. I also might read Binding 13 with my friend. We were both talking about wanting to read this, but we both don't know if it's our kind of book because it's kind of like a Wattpad-y romance, and I don't even really like romance to begin with unless it has a subplot of something else. So I don't know if the romance will just be a little bit boring for me or a little bit cringe for me. I don't know, but I think I do want to read it because so many people love it. The only thing about it is it's just a very long book, and I don't know if I should commit myself to such a long book in this video, but I can always DNF it. And basically this book takes place at the Tommen College, so it's a part of a series called the Boys of Tommen series, and this one is about Johnny and Shannon. So Johnny is a rugby player. He's pretty popular at the school, and Shannon is the shy new girl. And I think they talk a lot about how like she's so tiny and he's so big. I think that's one of the cringy parts of this book. That's really all I know about it, but I know that people are obsessed with this series, so I kind of want to read it. That will just be if I'm in the mood for it. I don't really know if I will be, but it's one of the books on my mind. Then I also have Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, and this is another fantasy book. This is more of a romantasy. Phantasma is about these two sisters, and their mom passes away, so the older sister inherits her powers, but she also inherits her debt. So she enters the Wicked Games, which is this trial thing where you're kind of in a haunted house and you have different floors of tasks that you have to complete to win the money at the end of it, and there are phantoms in there, so I think there's a phantom romance, and basically that's what that book is about. I've heard very mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people don't, but I love books with trials in them, so I think it sounds kind of fun, and we might read that one together. I'm just saying that right now, so she doesn't even know that. Maybe I'll make her read it with me though. She says that she's gonna read her cowboy romances. Maybe we won't be reading books together.
No, we'll read one together.
Yeah, we have 24 hours. I also might want to read the last book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I think it's As Good as Dead because I really love those books, and they go by so fast and they're just so easy to read. So I feel like it'd be a really good one if I'm feeling kind of tired to just read and keep me going. So those are the 4 books that are definitely on my mind. I don't even know how many books I could potentially read in 24 hours. I'm the slowest reader known to man. So I don't know, maybe I could like only get through one. That would be kind of disappointing, but we'll see how many books I can get through in this 24-hour period. But those are the 4 books that are kind of on my mind. I might end up reading other books. Who really knows? I have no idea what I'm going to be in the mood for, but that's kind of the plan. Officially 11:36, so we're going to
drive to the coffee shop though.
So we have to drive to the coffee shop, but we're going to start this at 12, and I'm very excited to get started. So thank you so much for watching if you're watching.
Thank you so much for watching if you're watching. It's crazy. Say thank you so much for watching because I know you're watching.
And thank you so much for watching because I know you're watching, and you better not click off right now because if you click off right now, I'm going to find you. We are going to get started. started right now. Let's go, let's read. Someone keeps honking their car. But we left the cafe. It's currently 1:52, so it's almost 1 o'clock, and we are 1 hour and 21 minutes into our 24-hour readathon. And we read at the cafe for like a little bit over an hour, and the music they were playing in there was so crazy. Like at one point they literally had SpongeBob playing. I was like, I had my headphones in, but I could still hear it through the headphones, and I just like hear SpongeBob's voice. Like, this is throwing me out of the world I'm in, so I'm excited nonetheless to be going home. But currently we're at a grocery store, and Tally is inside getting some groceries for the dinner that we're gonna have tonight. So that's what we're doing. Then we're gonna go home and keep reading. And my update so far is that I'm currently 16% through the book. I'm on chapter 4 and page 50 according to my Kindle. I don't really know how accurate that is to like the real book and the real pages, so I can check that when I get home on her book. But currently I'm on chapter 4, and it's very fun. There's one point at the coffee shop where I was literally like jaw open. I was shocked at something that was happening, and I whipped out my camera. I was trying to record to see if I was shocked about anything else, and then the rest of it I was just like normally reading, so you didn't see my reaction. But there was one point where I was like genuinely shocked at something that happened in this book already, and I'm literally only on chapter 4. You can definitely tell that it's YA, and one of the funniest things is that the main character, her name is Alina, and they kind of make her out to be someone who's not afraid to speak her mind and kind of like badmouth people. And the first chapter, I think this is like literally the second page, someone like bumped into her and she was like, why don't you move your fat foot? And then like the person looked at her like, oh my god, she said that, which I think is so funny because it's just very YA insult that is very much like 5th grade. But I'm having fun with it so far. I'm actually really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the world building. I'm enjoying the characters. And there was one part that was pretty intense that I was reading about, and I had fantasy music playing, just like a random fantasy Spotify playlist, and the music was so funny. It was like medieval, and it just totally did not match the vibe of what I was reading at all, so it was very funny. Those are my updates, and I'm excited to keep reading. I'm probably just gonna read a little bit in the car. We'll see how far I can get. It literally took me an hour to get to chapter 4, but I think the chapters are kind of long, so that's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna say to justify the fact that I'm only in chapter 4. But those are the updates, and I will keep you guys updated as I keep reading, obviously. We have the bread. Hey, Tally, do you want to give a quick update? How was your book?
I'm reading Swift and Saddled.
Swift and Saddled.
It's so bad it's good.
It's so bad it's good.
That's what I'd say about it. It's just fun.
Yeah, she's in her cowboy era, cowboy romance era. She was listening to some country music.
I was.
Getting in the vibe.
I think it's just because I want to live on a ranch, so I like the setting.
That makes sense.
This lady literally almost ran me over.
2.5 hours, and we have just read for 2.5 hours straight, and we are at 4 hours and 30 minutes into the 24-hour challenge, and currently I'm 50% through Shadow and Bones. So I'm on chapter 13, 51% through. These chapters are so long. I felt like I was the slowest reader ever. I mean, I am very slow, but I was like, how am I still only on chapter 13? But this entire book is only 22 chapters. They're very long chapters, but I'm currently 51% through it, and Tally finished her book. I knew this would happen going into this reading challenge because she is a very fast reader and I'm a pretty slow reader, so she's probably gonna like read double the books that I do.
No,
but
not double.
She finished Swift and Saddled. And what do you rate it?
Between a 3 and a 3.5.
She's between a 3 and a 3.5, and I feel like she should do a 3.5 because she is a pretty harsh rater, but I feel like the higher ratings are usually what she feels, and she's just scared to rate them that high.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I think she should do a 3.5.
I'm gonna look at the other books that I've rated the amount and see if I think it matches up.
But I'm currently on chapter 13, and so far I'm still enjoying the book. I feel like the past few chapters, it's been a little bit slow, like a little bit slower, more mundane things. Alina is at a school basically, and she's just learning things, and it's a little bit slow, but it's still interesting. I'm excited for it to pick up a little bit more now that I'm 50% through. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm definitely not going to pick up the second book right after this. I can already tell. I feel like I would definitely like be in a slump if I did that. So I know I'm going to pick up a different book. But I think it's funny because I've read a few fantasy books, like this one, Akatar and Lightlark. They all have some sort of dark figure as a guy. Like this one is the Nightling, and then there's the Night Court, and then there's Darkbane. And I just think it's so funny. I don't know why all the main guy characters in these fantasy books are considered like part of shadows. Like even in Fourth Wing, the guy Xaden was like a shadow wielder. So they're all just like shadowy and dark, and they're like always the romantic love interest, and I don't know why they make all the guys like that. Quicksilver is like that too, apparently. I haven't read Quicksilver.
I haven't read it,
but it's like that
like
too.
I don't want to say it.
Oh, okay.
They call it
A shadow daddy. Okay, but I don't know why like they all do that in fantasy books. I think it's kind of funny, and I feel like it's a little bit like they're all too similar in that way. There's definitely going to be a romance. I can kind of tell who, but I can also kind of tell it's like a triangle, but the triangle where the person who wins in the end is very obvious.
Wait, who do you think who wins?
It's very obvious. I have some theories about it, so we'll see what ends up coming true and everything. Oh, I haven't read in the book yet. It's kind of fun the way they do the chapters like that. I've just been reading on my Kindle. Maybe I should read on the book. What page am I on? Currently on page 185 out of 356, so I'm right there like exactly halfway through this book. I'm gonna keep reading because I guess that's what I'm doing all day today. After my rambling, we're at 4 hours and 34 minutes. We have a long way to go. Expecting what just happened to happen. I feel like it happened at a very random moment, but you know, it was interesting. I think I'm gonna go back to my Kindle though, because there's something about holding a book. I'm just over it. There's just something about the Kindle where it just feels like it goes so much faster. So I'm back to the Kindle now.
The whole world is white, there's snow everywhere from the storm last night. Winter is here, blue jays are watching the children's play on this bright and wonderful Christmas day. It's so cold outside, we're staying in here by the fireside. I think I can hear far in the distance how sleigh bells play on this bright and wonderful Christmas day. It's a wondrously slow and golden Christmas day.
person.
Go look at my story.
I get the
That's you.
and that's me right now. Mini muffin. We are 8 hours into the challenge. I am one booked out. It was a long-ish book. I have my thoughts, but before I get into them, Tally, where are you at? You've gotten one book down, and now you're
50%.
now she's 50% through book 2.
This is this third book. It's Lost and Lassoed.
Lost and Lassoed.
Mine's good.
That's good.
It's really good actually.
Really good? Like really, really good? Like 4 stars? 5 stars?
No, like 3.5.
Okay. But I finished Shadow and Bone, the first book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and oh my gosh, I think you saw my reaction, but when that twist happened, I was so fooled. I was so fooled. Last time I talked to you, I was like, I know it's gonna happen. I know everything. No, I didn't. I was embarrassingly fooled. I was humbled. My jaw was on the floor. This happened, this happened, this happened. All in the span of one chapter, I felt like my whole life fell apart. I was so incredibly shocked by the twist, and it was a little bit boring, like I said, in the middle. Like the beginning was very fun. The middle got a little bit boring, and then after that chapter where my whole life shattered and the book totally changed, then it was fun, and it was kind of like a cat and mouse chase kind of thing. And then the ending, you really have no idea what's gonna happen. Like I had no idea how she was gonna get out of the predicament that they were in. It did feel slightly convenient, as I feel like a lot of fantasy books usually do with their endings, because you know things have to work out somehow, so I feel like sometimes books just do it in very convenient ways. But I did really enjoy the book a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. I was completely fooled by one of the characters. I think I'm probably gonna give it 4 stars. I was honestly even debating higher because I was having so much fun, but then I realized that there was a part where I was pretty bored and I was struggling because I had to keep reading and I had been doing nothing but reading and I was a little bit bored. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. But with that being said, the ending of it didn't really convince me to pick up the second book. It didn't really end on like a point where I am super excited to go into the second book, although I'm definitely going to read it because I want to know what happens. I feel like it would make sense that she didn't think that there was going to be a continuation because it kind of ended. Like you felt satisfied with the ending, a little bit ambiguous, but also like it did feel like an ending to the story. So it didn't really feel like I want to rush and pick up the second book and figure out what happens there. But those are my thoughts. I feel like I can't really tell if I'm articulating anything well because I feel like I'm getting a little bit sleepy. Wait, okay, no, I'm not. No, because I'm actually not that sleepy. I lied. I'm not feeling too bad yet. Me when I lied. We're currently at 8 hours 15 minutes. It is 8:46 p.m. I do think I'm gonna have to crack out some sort of caffeine. That's where we're at. Those are my thoughts on the book. I had fun with it, so I would recommend this to people. If you haven't read it, you definitely should read it. And I'm glad that Tally made me read it. This was a Tally recommendation, and she did
I
good.
want you to get to 6 of Crows.
Yeah, she did good. I think the next book that I'm gonna get into is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, the 3rd book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. And the reason I want to do this one is because I kind of want to listen to a little bit on audiobook, and I love listening to those books on audiobook because they sometimes have podcasts and interviews and they do different voices, and it's really fun to listen to because I kind of just want to listen to audiobook and doodle one of my thumbnails. I want like a little bit of a break from reading words because I've just read words for 8 hours straight, and I want to doodle a little bit and do something else. I think I'm gonna go and do that right now. It's currently 10:20 p.m. Let it be known, we are now approaching my bedtime. I finished editing my thumbnail, so I'm gonna stop listening to the audiobook. I'm gonna go back to reading on Kindle, but I'm on chapter 7 and I'm 11% through this book. I still have quite a bit to go. The tiredness is hitting me. I had a few sips of this Bloom energy thingy. I've never tried one of these before, but I just grabbed it because I figured I would need energy, and it's not hitting me yet, but I've had like 3 sips. I'll probably sip a little bit more of that, and I will keep reading, and I'm really hoping that this book is like super scary, so it makes it so I can't even sleep.
Are those books usually scary?
No. How are you doing, Tally?
Good, I'm about to finish my book. The running theme of this
Okay.
video is just me reading fast.
11 hours and 37 minutes into this, and I'm still reading As Good as Dead. I'm currently in chapter 16 and 30% through the book. I'm having fun with it. It was a little bit slow to begin with, but it's finally starting to pick up because there's finally another mystery going on that Pip is trying to solve. But Pip is kind of different in this book compared to the other one. She's a bit more panicked. They kind of like took a toll on the character, and now she's a little bit different in this one. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still enjoying it, and I am excited to see who is the killer. Well, I say killer, but no one's dead yet. I'm excited to see who's the whatever that they're looking for.
Very succinct.
Thank you. But that's what's going on right now. The writing is still fun. They already have included like documents and stuff, which I think is very fun to look at. I'm just looking at it with like one eye because the other one's sleeping. That's where we're at, but honestly, sitting up here and talking, I feel better. I feel more awake. I feel like I should sit up instead of getting comfortable. What's your update, Tally?
I finished my cowboy romance. I gave it 3 stars.
3 stars.
Then I read a bunch of 1-star reviews for it. I want to lower my rating. 24% of the way through my book lovers reread. I'm looking at the paragraphs and I see the words and I know what the words mean, but I'm having a hard time understanding.
I dropped my Kindle.
And like expressionless. You look like you hate me.
At the beginning of this, we were so hopeful. I was so excited. I was like, I can't wait to just read. And it was very fun. Like the first
6 hours are fun.
Yeah, honestly, I was too optimistic. It was literally like 4 p.m. and I was like, I'm doing great.
You go, I'm not tired at all. I was like, yeah, Shay, it's 6 p.m. right now. Like, why would you be tired?
Yeah, I like actually specifically remember thinking 4 p.m. This is so fun. I'm doing great. That was 4 hours into reading.
No, like after this, I may never read again.
I'm still having fun reading. I just want to nap.
I'm having fun reading. My brain's just not working anymore. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I look at the words and
Yeah.
they don't make sense. I
You-
really want to
you
lay in my
need to-
bed and read too.
You're gonna fall asleep.
But I know if I lay in my bed and read, I'm gonna fall asleep.
And
But
I want to
really
lay and
want-
read, but I know if I lay down, I'm gonna fall asleep.
Maybe that's just our fate.
I can't give up too early. It's midnight, but I think I can do until 1.
Yeah, you can.
And I can probably read until 1, but that's where we're at right now. I'm reading As Good as Dead. I think Pip, her entire character changed, and I think they're trying to say that the first 2 books had a toll on her mentally and kind of were traumatic. I mean, they were traumatic for her. They were, but now I think she has changed a lot. She's just very paranoid in this book, so it's kind of a different vibe. Like, she is just paranoid by everything, and she's a bit more jaded from the history she has with some of the characters in the world, and you can see that in the way that she interacts with them and the way that she's interacting with the new mystery that she's dealing with. And the new mystery is a little bit more personal, and she sees it as kind of like a way to close this chapter in her life, so it feels like there's more weight to it. So it just feels a little bit more like an intense book compared to the other ones. They were still intense. Like, it was an intense mystery that you were solving because it was important and you wanted to figure it out. The first, I feel like they kind of just are going up in intensity. Like, the first one was like the murder already happened, so it didn't really feel that intense. The second one, it was ongoing, but the third one feels like a preventative thing that she's trying to research. Honestly, also, I think Ravi is being a little bit annoying in this book. Like, honestly, he's doing nothing wrong. I just think I found him cringe with a few things that he said, but this is a YA book and I'm also half asleep. Let's see if I can solve this murder half asleep. I've never guessed on one of these books because the outcome is always so outlandish. It's really not even something you could guess. That's my update though. I'm gonna go back to reading now. I'm feeling a little bit more awake, a little bit more energized. Had a little bit of my Bloom energy drink, but not too much. So I don't know how much that has worked, but I'm feeling good to go now. I'm feeling good to go for another...
You're convincing me when I laugh.
I'm feeling good to go for another hour, guys. I am locked in. I will...
Another hour? Best you mean 12 more hours.
We will check in at 1 a.m. because we will be up.
I am packing my bags, I am leaving. Think I'm going to Paris or Rome. I gotta get out of this god-awful place that I used is to call my home. Maybe I'm going to London. Gotta find someplace new. I'll move to a dump in a faraway slum to help me forget about you. I might be going to sunny California. I'll go surfing the waves till I drown. I really don't care.
It's 1:12 and we've officially been doing this for 12 hours and 41 minutes. That is a long time, the most I've ever read in a day, and I'm currently still reading my book, obviously. I'm on chapter 21 and I'm 37% through the book right now, so it's still fun. I actually was feeling pretty awake this past hour. Right when it hit 1, it kind of started to hit me again that I'm tired, but I'm still like kind of awake. Like I feel like I could probably do another hour, which is kind of crazy to say. Don't really know why or how I can do that. But Tally, on the other hand, once it hit 1, I peeked over and she was asleep on her bed. My thoughts on the book are pretty much the same. I really don't think I can think enough right now to be saying different thoughts, but my thoughts are pretty much the same, I feel like. That's kind of how this is going, and we're probably gonna check in it too if we're awake. I think I can do it. I think I'm gonna regret it a lot tomorrow.
That's like 5 hours past your bedtime.
This is very, very much past my bedtime. We are officially over halfway through this. How are you feeling, Tally? Do you feel proud?
I don't feel like a real person anymore.
Yeah. We're almost at 13 hours, and the next check-in could potentially be 14 hours. So that's 14 hours of reading, which is the longest time I've ever spent reading. That's gonna be crazy. Tally, how far are you in the book?
37%. I don't really know what happened.
I'm 37% too. We're the same percent there. We will check in at 2 a.m. I don't know how many more check-ins we have in us. I think, what's your guess, Tally? When are you falling asleep?
I think I'm in bed in the next hour, to be honest. Your high sounded so sad.
It's currently, I need a second. It's currently 1:44 and we're just gonna pretend that's 2 a.m. because we're tired and we can't make it anymore. I was so hopeful last time I talked. I'm tired. And we have been reading for 13 hours and 13 minutes, and that is already a lot, and I'm already proud of myself for that. So basically I am on chapter 23. I'm 41% through the book. It is 1:40 a.m. and I'm calling it a night for now, but we're not done with the challenge because the challenge technically ends at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow, and we're definitely gonna wake up at like 7 a.m. hopefully, like 7 or 8 a.m. sometime. We're gonna wake up sometime in the morning and go to a coffee shop and keep reading. We just think we're like so tired and we're not really processing what we're reading, and we want to make sure we enjoy these books because I am enjoying this book and I want to figure out what's going on, even though I think I already predicted it. We can acknowledge that we failed this challenge. We can acknowledge that. Next time we talk, We are gonna be so awake. Good morning, it is 9 a.m. and we woke up a little bit later than we had originally hoped. I woke up at 8 and I started listening to an audiobook as I got ready, and now it's 9 and we are at 20 hours and 22 minutes in this challenge. Unfortunately, I still don't feel very fully rested and I would have loved to sleep a little bit more, but we're up and we're ready to read for the last 4 hours of this challenge. We're gonna go to a cafe and we're gonna try and read and finish our books. I'm currently on chapter 26 and I'm 44% through the book. We're gonna go to this cute cafe bakery place and get coffee and a croissant and try to wake us up and read a little bit more. I'm enjoying my book, so I'm excited to see what happens. A big, like, crazy part just happened, so. It's 11:30, 11:40. We are back at the apartment. We went to 2 different cafes. We went to one, got a croissant and a coffee. Then we went somewhere else for comfier seats. And we stayed there for like an hour. We read a little bit. And now we are currently at 23 hours and 9 minutes. So we are on the final stretch. We're on the last hour of this challenge. And I'm still reading As Good as Dead. I'm currently 73% through with it. I ended in the middle of a chapter because I just wanted to go home. So I don't really know what chapter I'm on, but I am 73% through the book. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it in the next hour, but I probably can finish it today. So we're just gonna see how much we can get through in the last hour of this challenge. So Tally, where are you at? What are your updates?
I'm on 65% of book lovers, and I think it's at least 4.5 stars.
Oh my gosh, what an upgrade. 4.5, and that's not even your favorite. Your favorite is Funny Story, so Funny Story is a 5.
This might be my second favorite. Piper.
There's the cat back there and she's eating the Christmas tree. Back to my reading I go. It is officially 24 hours since we started this video, so we've officially completed, didn't successfully complete, but we did officially complete a 24-hour readathon. I'm only 86% through my book. I'm on chapter 47. I'm probably gonna finish it today and I'll add my thoughts to the end of this video in case anyone is curious about what I think about it. But that is it for the 24-hour readathon challenge, and I'm very excited to take like a little break from reading because this has been a lot. But overall, my thoughts was that this is fun. fun. I'm glad I slept. I think I would have really regretted it if I didn't sleep, and I think I would have like forgotten everything that I read anyway, so I feel like I'm glad I slept. But the beginning of this was really fun. Just having a day of just reading for hours straight was fun until being tired started to hit, until I was kind of like, well, I want to put the book down for a second and do something else. Then it was like, okay, this is a challenge for sure. So for this book, is not really like the first two. It is a little bit different. It's entertaining. I'm still really enjoying it. It's like a different kind of twist though than the first ones. Different vibes. Pip is like totally different this book, and everything has changed basically. It's an odd book. I'm excited to see how they end this series because this is the last book. Those are my thoughts for right now. I think I'm just gonna end up packing and going home, but I'm gonna try to finish this book and I will update you guys when I do, and that will be the end of this video. Cheers to us. We did it. We tried. I'm proud of us for trying. Hi, I'm in the car now. I just ended up driving home. I have all my stuff next to me, and I listened to As Good as Dead in the car on the way home, and I ended up finishing it. So I have my thoughts. I finished the book and I want to talk to you guys about it before I end this video off. So overall, I think I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It was my least favorite out of the trilogy, and I think I mentioned this while I was delirious last night, but each of the books kind of follow a different mystery, and the first one is like a mystery that already happened, so you're solving something that already happened. The second one is something that's ongoing, and then the third one is something that's more like preventative, and I think that the third one was just different. The characters were kind of changed. I see why Holly Jackson, why the author took that route with it, and I see how it kind of closes up all of the stories with the new plot twist that is thrown in there. I do think, like I've said, all of her plot twists are very outlandish and they don't really make sense, and it's like very crazy to think that all of this happens in a little town to these teenagers. I think like for the storyline it probably made sense. For the characters, I think that Pip ended up changing a lot in the third book. I do think that a lot of that could be due to the things that happened to her in the first 2 books and how those can be traumatic and you can change from that. I just think that some of the stuff that happened was just not my favorite, but I do understand kind of why it took that route and why that happened with the story of the whole series together. One of my favorite things about this book has always been the fact that you have a bunch of these clues and interviews and things that you're piecing together to try and solve it, kind of like the whodunit vibe. This book had a little bit less of that, didn't really have a lot of the podcasts or a lot of the interviews, stuff like that I really enjoy in these books, so that kind of made it a little bit harder. It was a lot more of just like a storyline more than her interviewing people and trying to figure out something. The last few chapters I kind of thought were a little bit frustrating with just the way that the main character was handling things, but I do think the way it ended was nice. It was a very concise kind of way to end it. Like they just had this one sentence that kind of you can take it from there and figure out what happened. Overall, I'd probably rate the entire series 4 stars because I did really enjoy the first 2 and I have so much fun with them. I just think this one was my least favorite. It was a little bit darker too. It just was not my favorite book to read. It did kind of close any leftover loose ends that there were in any of the other books, and it did close the story pretty well. I also will say that this mystery was extremely easy to solve. When I think I have a clip of me saying that I have a theory of who did it, I was correct. So if me, sleepy at like 2 a.m. can guess this, I feel like genuinely anyone can, because I'm not even that good at guessing things, but I guessed that one, so it was a little bit obvious, which I think also took away some of the effect of the book and the stuff that you're doing in it. But those are my thoughts on the book. That was my 24-hour readathon. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched this entire video, thank you guys so much for watching my bookmas. This is the end of my bookmas, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It was a little bit stressful, but it was fun nonetheless. So thank you guys so much if you stuck around for all 8 days, and this is the last video. So that's it for me. Bye.